Sandy needs money, ASAP. What she doesn't know is that she's already sitting on a gold mine. That is, jewelry that she doesn't wear anymore. If she calls Gold Capital today, we could make a stop at her house, evaluate her jewelry, and give her a payout immediately. If you need extra cash, trust Gold Capital to buy your gold and diamond jewelry, Krugerrands, gold coins, and luxury watches. Gold Capital, South Africa's most trusted gold brokers since 1992.
You're with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Let's walk the talk. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7 and 106 FM.
7 minutes after 9 o'clock. Dumelang, happy Monday. Welcome to the Clement Manyathela Show. I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining us here on 702 as we enter a brand new week. Hello to all of you that are watching us on YouTube from all over the world. We are on the 702 YouTube page if you would like to watch and listen to us at the same time. Have you had your coffee so far? I'm already having my chai latte here because that's how I have to start my day. How do you start your day, actually? Does your day really start without you having coffee? And how does it look like if you've started it without having coffee? Because I find I'm not a big coffee drinker. I do drink it, but I do need like a very hot beverage. I do need like a hot beverage before I start the show, before I really start the show at some point. How do you work around that? If you're on YouTube, if you want to join us there on YouTube, you just Google 702 YouTube page and it'll take you straight there and you can watch and listen to the show at the same time. A lot of you have been asking actually, hey, why are you guys looking so different today? Because we are all sort of dressed up a little bit. Bongani, you might have seen on YouTube if you were watching. He's very dressed up. I just have a suit and a white t-shirt, really. That's how as basic as I am. But that's because we've got a thing that we have to do today after work. Did you watch the Hungarian Grand Prix yesterday? My goodness. Brilliant race, I thought. Brilliant performance by McLaren. Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri gave us a show. There are now 9 points that separate them. Oscar still in the lead in the driver standings. The less said about Ferrari, the better. Honestly, Charles Leclerc dealt with unexplained mechanical problems which were so frustrated. Lewis Hamilton was... Guys, actually just listen to what Lewis Hamilton said after qualifying.
So what happened in quali?
I'm just useless.
So say again?
I'm just useless.
But that isn't obviously the case.
It clearly is.
What?
Just drove terribly. It is what it is.
Did you just not feel comfortable in the car in that part of quali? Did something change?
Nothing changed.
Right.
So he says there, I'm just useless. I just drove terribly. And the reporter's trying to ask, is it because of the car? Were you not comfortable? He's like, there's nothing wrong with the car. I am just useless. Is he lying? He drove terribly in qualifying. And as a Lewis Hamilton fan, we need to stop making excuses for him. And I'm still a big fan of him. I still support him. He's still my favorite driver. But that doesn't mean that I can't still be frustrated with him. And I just find that as fans of Lewis Hamilton, we make a lot of excuses for him. Nothing has changed. Even he says that. It's not the car. It's still the same car. So where is his focus? He made a comment this weekend that maybe Ferrari just needs to change the driver. In fact, listen to the longer version of that clip I played you where he references this point that maybe Ferrari needs to change a driver.
Oh, it's me every time.
So you've been upset by it before, frustrated by it before, is that what it is?
It's what?
Is it your qualifying, your Saturdays, or...
Yeah, I'm useless. Absolutely useless.
Any answers anywhere? I mean, this car, they're trying to get this car in a better position for you.
The team has no problem. You've seen the cars on pole, so they probably need to change driver.
You hear that at the end? The car is not the problem. I probably think they need to change a driver. And I've said this before, and even last year I said it. Lewis Hamilton has been distracted for a while now. He's doing too many things. I don't feel like he's focused on the race. And I'm not saying he must not take part in the Met Gala and be a fashion icon and all of that. Sure. But your focus must 100% be on the race, especially if you're trying to get your 8th championship and bow out. You give it your all. And as a Lewis Hamilton's biggest fan, I'm frustrated. At Mercedes, we blamed the car. When he joined Ferrari, we said, he still needs to settle in this car. But come on, guys, come on. So I'm going to ask the question again, the same one I asked, which I got attacked for last year. Is it time for Lewis Hamilton to retire? Because I worry that as a fan, he's going to retire when he's at his lowest in performance. Nobody wants that. He doesn't want that. What should Ferrari do? Get another driver, as Lewis suggests? Or do you think we must be more patient with him? 011-883-0702. WhatsApp's on 072-702-1702. You may have seen the National Treasury has threatened to stop grant funding to the Johannesburg municipality if it doesn't get its finances in order. The finance minister has written to Dada Morero, who's the mayor of Johannesburg, saying he needs to do more to curb the city's wasteful, irregular and unauthorized expenditure because these issues end up affecting service delivery, right? And that's the same service delivery that the Johannesburg mayor says he rates it 8 out of 10. I asked the mayor when he was here last week how he ranks service delivery in the city out of 10. Can you believe that this is how he ranked it? 8 out of 10? So in terms of the implementation of the services or the services that you provide, when you do an assessment, how are we doing there? I mean, is it 5 out of 10? Is it 3 out of 10? What's your assessment based on the services that you've been able to provide so far?
Well, in terms of the high impact service delivery program, we can say that currently, if you look at Ward 90, where we're doing all the potholes resurfacing, we're probably at about 8 to 10. Mm-hmm. What would be outstanding at the moment is addressing street lights, which is what we want to do now, but the roads we have done. We have not finished all of them, but work has been done in that area. Similarly, in Soweto, where we come from, the biggest thing that we have established is a sewer. So what has happened over the years, the infrastructure that was deployed in Soweto can no longer carry, does no longer have the capacity to carry the developments that has happened in Soweto. So the sewer pipes cannot carry. So we're experiencing a huge problem, especially in Ward 34, where I was. And we have therefore commissioned Joburg Water to look into the sewer challenges in not just in Ward 34, but in the entire Soweto. But they've already started with the work in Ward 34, and they're indicating that they should be able to complete the work just around February, because it requires almost changing the entire system, because the pipes there are smaller, because that area was a smaller area. Now it has increased. So they have to then increase the capacity of the pipes, because we are battling that. So give or take 8 to 10,
and that's
6
across
to 10.
the city. That's across the city.
Across the city, yes.
So across the city, 8 out of 10. Really? How do you rate the city in terms of service delivery? And try to be more fairer than you would ordinarily be. Like, be more generous. And I want to see if, even with that generosity, you would get to that 8 out of 10 of service delivery.
Clement Manyathela, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856
92.7
and 106 FM.
All right, I'm coming to your calls in a moment. Simpiwe and Bani, I'll start with you. So we've got the National People's Dialogue coming up on Wednesday. You may have had on air, you may have had imaging about that on air already, some ads about that. We're going to be doing the People's Dialogue ahead of the President's National Dialogue. And we've received, obviously, a lot of interest. There are people that have seen our posters on social media. Some of you have seen on the billboards as you drive around Johannesburg. You have heard on air as well. And there's interest around how to participate at this People's Dialogue. We want you to come through, as many as you can. I just want us to be a diverse crowd. Young people, older people, civil society, activists. You know, normally when we do these kind of town halls, we bring in the politicians, we bring in the experts. We just want to have a conversation as a people, a conversation as South Africans. What are our issues? How do we resolve those issues? How did we get here? Because I believe that we always have to reflect on that so that we don't repeat the same mistakes. So that's going to be part of the conversation. How do you take part? Well, it's going to be taking place on Wednesday between 9 and 12. It's going to be here at Prime Media House. If you want to come through and participate, you can send us an email on contact@702.co.za, right? Send an email, contact@702.co.za. Just tell us who you are, you want to participate, and then we're going to send you the details, the address, the time you need to be here, all of that. And when we're going to sit in a room, no politicians, just us having a conversation about our challenges. What are they? And how do we resolve them? That's going to be on Wednesday. So email on contact@702.co.za. Space is limited, so that's why we're trying to control the numbers. But the sooner you email us, the better.
Your voice,
Your station.
your open line
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
on 702.
Simpiwe, you're calling us from Sandton. What do you want to say about Lewis Hamilton? Hi.
Hi, Clement.
Sure.
Normally, you and I agree and we see eye to eye.
Yeah, except when we talk about Lewis.
Yes, and right now I'm not happy about you.
I know.
Clement, there's too many things happening. So, for example, I know you are critical on Lewis at the moment, but then when you look at the whole thing holistically, there's something fundamentally wrong at Ferrari at the moment. The mere fact that Leclerc started at 1, finished at 4th, compared to every other driver who normally, basically at the Hungarian Grand Prix, everyone almost finishes where they started.
Yeah.
So there's something fundamentally wrong at Ferrari.
There were unexplained mechanical problems with Charles Leclerc's car. So it wasn't even strategy this time around.
They always say there's problems. There's always problems with the Ferrari car. That's my problem. There's always something wrong with Ferrari. If it's not strategy, if it's not the car, if it's not them doing something which they got then going to get disqualified, there's always something happening.
So what was wrong with Lewis's car yesterday? Because even Lewis says, my car was fine. Why then did he drive so terribly during qualifying?
He didn't drive terribly. He drove okay. And let me quantify it. You know what? So Lewis has only been at Ferrari for 8 months. 8 months. And he's only been driving this car for 8 months. So compared to Leclerc, obviously he's going to struggle. But when you compare Lewis to other drivers who have joined new teams, so for example, you look at the Red Bull team, the second drivers are always struggling. You look at Mercedes. Antonelli started well, but he still can't beat Dada because it takes time for you to get into the car.
But at least Antonelli started well. Did Lewis start well?
Yes, Lewis got one sprint race.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I remember the sprint race. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. I remember that. But if you compare him to Antonelli?
But then let me say this. If you compare when it comes to points in terms of championship, where is Lewis compared to Antonelli?
Yeah, he's further up.
And how far is Lewis from Leclerc? Lewis is closer to everyone against their teammates compared to all the other teams, except for McLaren. So he's not doing bad. He's not doing great.
Yeah, so at Leclerc is at 141 points now, and Lewis is at 109.
But again, Leclerc has been driving for that team for over 4 years.
Yeah. All right. It's fine. Let me ask you this before you go. Do you have confidence that he's going to get it right? Because the season is almost gone. I was hoping that this is the season where Lewis gets that 8th championship and he bows out, because clearly he's got other plans he wants to do. That's why he's already engaged in too many things. And I've said this even last year. He's too distracted, bro. If you are here, like racing, like this kind of sports requires a lot of focus. You cannot do 1,000 things at the same time, especially because you want to win a championship. Do you think he still has it in him?
I do, and I want to just talk to the focus. First of all, Lewis doesn't have a girlfriend. He's always said that he wants to focus on Formula One, so he is focused. I do believe he still has it in him. I just believe that Ferrari needs to give him the right car. But history has also shown us that whenever there's regulation changes, whenever there's change to the car, which is going to be happening next year, Lewis comes out on top. So I'm hoping he does what he's done previously, because he's done that with McLaren, he's done that with Mercedes.
Yeah. All right, Simpiwe in Centum, thank you. Bani, you calling us from Brakpan. What do you think? Hi.
Hi, morning, Clement. Look, I'm not going to fundamentally disagree with you, but I'm also kind of in Simpiwe's corner. But without losing my points, I just want to make the following comments regarding Lewis. If you look at Niki Lauda, Senna, Mansell, Schumacher, Vettel, Lewis, Verstappen. The reason why I'm naming these people is if you've really been a long F1 follower and you watch all these documentaries, certain cars are designed according to the driving style of these drivers. I think and you can go into the Ferrari story. I believe that Ferrari, there's never ever going to be a driver that's going to be bigger than the brand, and they're always going to follow what the team principal instructs them how to do the setup of the car. And this is why I'm saying this. If you look at what happened with Vettel, I mean, Vettel was the best driver. Everybody thought he was going to get the Schumacher records. And then he left Red Bull and then he went to Ferrari, and then same story, same frustration. This is the driver that was on track to win 5, 6 titles, consecutively. And then he made the same mistake as Lewis. Lewis, we can debate a bit because the car setups and engines changed. And Red Bull became so strong. And then this is the Red Bull point that I want to make. If you look at what happened at Red Bull, every single driver, what are their names? The Australian, Daniel Ricciardo, Checo.
He's now out because he didn't perform.
No, yeah, but this is the point that I want to make, because the Red Bull car setup is set up according to Max Verstappen's driving style. And every single driver, go and watch the Drive to Survive or any documentary on Red Bull. All the other partner drivers struggle to drive that car because the car is set up for Verstappen. Hence the fallout between his father and Christian Horner. So the Lewis Hamilton story for me is, you need to look at it in that context. I think he's frustrated. I take his comments on Saturday after qualifying as him being sarcastic because he's not winning that battle inside the Ferrari garage where, if you look at Lewis and what him and Niki Lauda achieved at Mercedes, for example, he would go back every night after qualifying or whatever, because as the listeners know, you change your car setup according to every track. So the car that you drive today versus the car that you're going to drive next week is not the same.
Yeah.
And him, whenever, whether it was Rosberg or his last partner, if they beat him in qualifying, but then they go and not necessarily change the car setup, but there's things that they tweak, and then it's a different car altogether for him during the race.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, Bunny, I hear that. And look, I know some of you are saying even on WhatsApp, hi Clement, no, you're being too hard on Hamilton. Please just know that he's going to find himself. No, you can't compare Hamilton to Antonelli. Antonelli has not scored for 3 consecutive races. Come on, you're too hard on Lewis. I am hard on him because I love him. I'm hard on him because I'm a big fan of Lewis Hamilton. And this doesn't mean I love him less or I'm about to, somehow move myself off the list of his fans. Not at all. I'm just saying, can we also be objective, even as Lewis Hamilton's fans? At what point are we going to stop making excuses for him? At what point are we going to actually say, Lewis, you're not focused here, or you're not performing? And I just think he's not performing. I just think he's not too focused. And I think it's because he's doing too many things. And I could be wrong. I hope that he is going to somehow recover and win the 8th championship, because it's what I hope for. It's what I pray for. But my goodness, he's left us so frustrated. I can only imagine how he feels.
Good morning, Clement and 702 Land. It's a Monday. Happy Monday, happy new week to everyone. Man, I used to be a coffee addict, if there's anything like that. If I don't have coffee in the morning, I would have terrible headaches. And when I have the coffee, the headaches would go. And I used to have like 4 big mugs of coffee a day.
Morning, Clement and everyone. Well, I don't start my day with coffee or anything high in caffeine because of heart palpitations. I really like coffee, but because of heart palpitations, I had to stop drinking coffee. So I sometimes, not always, just have rooibos tea. Jonathan Pretoria. Okay,
rooibos tea. 8 cups of coffee a day. My goodness, how does your heart handle that? It is so hectic. Yeah. I was saying earlier on that I'm already having my chai latte, which is my favorite hot beverage. I struggle to start a day properly without a hot beverage. I'm not a big coffee person, but I have to have a chai latte or coffee sometimes. If I don't have much options. Michael on the YouTube page says, hi, Clement. It's my first time on YouTube channel. Great to see all of you. And Lewis must retire, while still near the top. And then, a lot of you there on YouTube also talking about how we look today as 702 presenters. Yes, guys, we've got a thing to go. Look at even Amuramela, how she's dressed today. Hey? All of us, it's like we spoke that tomorrow we're gonna come looking banging. It's 9:31.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
24 minutes before 10 o'clock. Your calls on 011-883-0702. I've been asking you about your rating of the service delivery here in Johannesburg. The Johannesburg mayor, as I played you that clip earlier, when he was on this show last week, he said he gives himself 8 out of 10 in terms of service delivery. How do you rate the city of Johannesburg? I've also been asking you about Lewis Hamilton. Is it time for this chap to bow out, or must he stay the course and he will find himself at some point?
Hi, Clement. It's now really getting upsetting having to listen to Lewis say all those things. I mean, now you start wondering, why did Ferrari take him if they knew that they don't have a car for him? They clearly don't have a car. I mean, if they did, Charles would have won yesterday's race. So clearly there are issues in Ferrari that neither of the drivers can resolve. It's no longer about the car. I don't think so. Because, I mean, there should be some improvements, and considering that they're no longer doing any upgrades on the car for the year, we are really not going to be seeing the best races from Ferrari this year. Gosh, I'm so disappointed. And I hope really Lewis goes and find a sports therapist to help him. Yeah, this is bad.
Morning, Clement and the listeners. This is Jabu Chilwani in Hazelview. My honest opinion about Lewis Hamilton is that he is done. He is old. He needs to hang his gloves. That's all I'm going to say. The guy is old. Ferrari need a new driver to partner with Leclerc. Thank you so much.
Clement, morning. Peggy here from Pretoria North. I'm also very, very frustrated with Lewis Hamilton as a fan. I think he's too distracted. He's got a lot going on. But I doubt that he wants to retire at his lowest. I think they might be sabotaging him. That's the feeling I have, because he says there's a lot going on in the background. He tried to meet with his engineers to implement some of the things that he proposed, and those things were not implemented. So I doubt that he would want to retire now. It's good that they have a summer break now. Then he can relax a bit. But yeah, he has just too many things going on with himself. So we're waiting for the 8th of the 8th, because he gave us the hint to follow the smoke. So let's follow the smoke and see where it goes. Ciao, have a good day, Clement. Bye.
But is he going to rest even during the summer break? That's my worry, is when it's time to rest, he's now like busy. Huh? New York Fashion Week. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he must not attend these things. I'm not saying he must not be part of the Met Gala committee. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying at some point, know what to say no to so that you are not distracted, so that you're still focused. Because we want the best for him. We want him to win. But I'm just frustrated. And I think as biggest fans of him, we are beginning to make excuses for everything. So why did Ferrari get him when they didn't have a car? So we're not asking the questions around him. So everything else we blame everybody else but him. When does he take accountability for his performance or lack thereof? It's 20 minutes before 10.
Voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
8 out of 10. That's the ranking for service delivery in the city of Johannesburg, according to the mayor of Johannesburg. What do you think? Stephen in Centurion, hi. Hi, Stephen.
Hi, Clement. How are you, sir?
Sharp, man. Go ahead.
Clement, I think the ANC they defeat the whole purpose of rebuilding the ANC. You know, appointing such a character, if I was ANC as general secretary or anyone in the leadership, I would have fired this guy the first time when he took office. Remember, after taking office, the first thing that he said when he opened his mouth, he said you will hire the foreign nationals. That is the time that he will have been fired, this guy. Really. Now, he appointed or created something called Bomb Squad. He does have executives to do the work. This guy doesn't know what is going on, doesn't have a clue. You can even see him when he walks, that this guy doesn't know he's lost. So, the ANC, if you say you're rebuilding ANC, but you're still imposing such characters on us, what do you expect? What do you expect? They are not serious, this guy.
Stephen in Centurion, thank you for your thoughts. They're not serious.
Morning, Clement. I live in Dodaport and I work in Soweto. And honestly, I would give the city a 4 out of 10. Where I live in Ward 70, the roads are full of potholes. I've been reporting these potholes since January. And in fact, even before that, multiple times. Nothing's been done. In Soweto, there's 2 sites on a road called Ben Nodia, going towards Chris Hani Baragwanath Hospital and the hostel. That place is a dump site, and the dump site is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The people don't care, because when the city cleans it up, they just come and dump again. But there's also water overflowing all over the show. Again, potholes all over. So no, whoever your guest is living in some sort of delusional gaga land where he's the hero. And that's not the case.
What is there to rate, Clement, when it comes to service delivery in Joburg? Nothing, zero, especially all the government institutions, from home affairs, clinics, hospital. It's better now that Operation Tutula is working anyway. You find the clinics, now there are no queues. Other than that, there's nothing to rate in Johannesburg. Services, dollar. Thanks to Operation Tutula, though, when it comes to healthcare. Case in Kages.
Good morning, Clement and team. I'm from Rehapak here. I think the reason why the mayor says service delivery is 8 out of 10, because when you put your question to him, you ask him if it's 3 out of 10 or 5 out of 10. So you just make simple math and say 5 plus 3, it's 8. Let me tell Clement it's 8 out of 10. Thank you.
You're so funny. On the WhatsApp line, who's this? Pierre says, Clement, I'm on my second cup of my cappuccino. I will have 1 or 2 more before 6 p.m. Oh my God. Perhaps you can share tips on how to quit and overcome caffeine addiction. Would appreciate that. Can someone please help PR here? Who says, so I imagine PR wants to quit the caffeine addiction. So I'm not really addicted. Even the reason I stopped I haven't stopped coffee, but the reason I don't like coffee that much is because I just find it boring. In fact, I enjoy a chai latte, maybe because I've got a sweet tooth. And I say this because Africa Melanie actually sent me a message earlier and says, you're having a chai latte that is sweet and flavored milk. But then, as I've said, I have a sweet tooth. So that's why. And coffee for me, it's just bland on my palate. So I don't like it. But anybody out there who has overcome a caffeine addiction, please help PR out here. Maybe you can give some tips on how to go about doing that. Lulu, you're calling us from Northcliffe. What do you want to say about Lewis Hamilton? Hi.
Hi, Clement.
Hey, Dada.
Lewis Hamilton fans are like fans who believe in a religion with faith and never having seen Jesus or God. So really, before people start talking too much, we need to literally just sit down and just sit and wait. He's got 7 world championships. He's got records people have never dreamt there'd ever be records of. So honestly, he's hard on himself already. And I really like his method to his madness, actually.
Yeah.
When it comes to his, him being able to live his life and do so many other things and win even on those things.
But he's not winning now,
above.
Lulu. And I think before, he wasn't this busy. Before, he just got too busy last year.
No, he's preparing himself for when he does take a bow out of Formula One. So before people start talking, think first before you say anything. It's the 7 world championships and all of those records first.
Yes.
I think you guys are too hard on him, honestly.
Yeah.
I think we must just keep the faith because he's going to surprise everybody.
I hope so.
A lot of entertainment, a hell of a lot. I mean, look at last week in terms of his comeback of what he's done.
Yeah, he drove brilliantly last week. Yeah,
there's
he drove
so much else to talk about. Can we give all the other young
But we still,
some little bit of attention?
we just need consistency, Lulu. Just consistency.
No, guys. He's 40 years old. He's 40. Just give him a bit of a break. He's already hard on himself.
Okay,
Give
Lulu.
him a bit of a break.
Yeah. Okay, Lulu. Lulu in Northcliffe says, give this man a break. Guys, I hope you know that it's so difficult for me to talk about Lewis like that. I hope you understand how difficult it is for me as someone who adores him so much to be so frustrated. Like, there's no man that I wish well in sports than this chap. There isn't. But I also don't have blind loyalty. Like, I can still love you, but I can still criticize you, and I can still say, I'm a bit disappointed in this or that. And I made a lot of excuses for Lewis Hamilton last year when he was at Mercedes because they didn't have a fast car, which is true. But then I used to see that, George Russell is doing more with this car than Lewis Hamilton. What's going on? Yes, there's a car problem. They don't have a fast car at Mercedes, but why is George able to push? And I just feel like sometimes we end up making too many excuses for the people that we love, which is natural. In this case, I hear you, Lulu. But my goodness, we need this guy to perform. He is the best driver in the world. He's the GOAT, 7-time world champion. Can he remind us of the man that he is, please? It's 12 minutes before 10.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
11 minutes before 10 o'clock.
Hi, Clement. With regards to the Hamilton situation, I think that's just moonlighting. It's even grounds for him to be fired. He's really taken the morale of everyone to advantage.
and no one will actually do their work if he's not going to perform while he's making money elsewhere. It really puts Ferrari at a reputational risk to say that you can easily just say you cannot do your job while you have contractual obligations.
Morning, Clement. Let's also mention Red Bull. This guy's built a car which can only be driven by Max and nobody else. They've changed their second driver, but the second driver is still not performing. Anyway, Kati, great show as always, listening from Livingstone in Zambia.
Dada Manyathela, I think we need to reconsider Tabaor Lewis is involved in too many things. You know, that's been the complaint that a lot of people have been having about his career since the inception. When he was still at McLaren, there was always a complaint that he's unfocused, his attention is split. When he was winning championships with Mercedes, every year there was always this saying that Lewis doesn't seem to be focused, and he would come and win, you know. So I don't think that his extra murals are a distraction in any way. I think those are the things that also fuel him to become a champion so that he can be influential in the things that he's doing. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, guys. Sputnik on WhatsApp says, Clement, I just love how frustrated you are around Lewis Hamilton. I am very frustrated. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see even with my gestures how frustrated I am. Let me read some of the comments that are coming through on YouTube. Taryn Lee says, Clement, Lewis. I'm useless, he says. I love that guy, but guys, it may be time to retire now. I'm super frustrated with him, and I am his biggest fan. And then another one says, David says, Clement, this is David here watching all the way from Bram Fisher, looking ahead to this beautiful Monday. And then someone else says, hi, Clement. This is Mashoboto, says, Clement, I'm loving the show as always. I've become the smartest in my circle because of you, my brother. You forced me to question, think, and act. Thank you. Well, thank you, Mashoboto. That's nice of you to say on the YouTube page there. Hi, Clement. It's quite interesting to see you live. Beautiful studio, by the way. Yes, Muzi, on YouTube. I think we probably have the best studios in this country. Huh, Abel? Who else has the best? I mean, I've been to all of the radio stations, studios, local ones here in Joburg, and in Cape Town, and some in Durban. I don't think any of them come close to our studios. 702 YouTube page if you want to see what we are talking about. It's 8 minutes before 10 o'clock.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
On 702.
Morning, Clement. That is the worst mayor we ever had, Clement. That man is the worst mayor. Dada is dadaring. No one say a person is dadaring. That person is dadaring. Serious. He's dadaring on his job. Go and look at Joburg. Joburg, it's a mess, Clement. I'm sorry to say this, but it's a mess. It's a mess. There is water, there is sewage everywhere. Joburg is smelling. It's a mess, Clement. That man doesn't know what he's doing. It doesn't know. If NC they bring him back for next year, they must forget. Thank you, Clement.
Hey, Clement, good morning. 8 out of 10. That must be a joke of the year, really. I think it's more of -8 out of 10. All being equal, the city's shape is in shambles. So whoever came up with that rating, I don't think they must be trimming somewhere, hoping for someone to wake them up. It's laughable if you ask me. Cheers.
Hi, Clement. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. My goodness gracious me. The mind boggles. Seriously, the mind boggles. You know, the mayors, the deputy mayors, the premiers, the people that are forced upon us, the citizens of this country. We throw our hands up in the air. What else can we do? He comes around and says 8 out of 10 should be his scorecard. I'm surprised it wasn't 12 out of 10. I don't know what reality these people are living in, but it's an alternate reality.
Yeah.
Seriously, and I'm talking across the board. Damn.
Yeah, and the mayor was sitting across me last week, and I actually asked him 3 times, I think. I said, 8 out of 10. And he said, yeah. I said, okay, so you're saying 8 out of 10? Because I just couldn't believe it. In fact, I said to him, do you give yourself 3 out of 10 or 5 out of 10? He says 8 out of 10. And that's why that listener says the reason he got to 8, he just took the 5 I gave him and the 3 I gave him as options, combined them, and that gives you 8.
Hi, Clement, and all the listeners. Clement, look, I hear a lot of people saying Lewis is distracted and he's just having bad season. He's adapting to a totally new environment. The car is totally new. It's just an environment issue. Secondly, Lewis is putting in the extra work. He's making notes, taking them to the engineers to improve the car. So he is putting in a lot of work for Ferrari to improve. So it's just one of those, and he'll get better. And these ground effect rules have been bad on him. He has been struggling to adapt. So it's just one of those. Let's see next year. If he's terrible next year, then I don't know. But let's give the man a chance. He's putting in the work. Let's see.
Good morning, Clement. This is Selma from Ruripur. You don't have to overcome a caffeine addiction. For all the people who drink a lot, and I suppose that must mean a lot of people in South Africa, apparently coffee has a protective action on one's liver, and it actually can help it to regenerate. I saw that on a special science feed that I subscribe to of various scientific topics, and it actually said that. It's been proven. So there you go. Forget about your addiction to coffee. Enjoy it. Have a lovely day. Bye.
But if the addiction is that bad, I mean, some people are taking 10 cups a day, guys. Is that fine? So maybe what we should do on our health and wellness feature on Tuesday is to have a chat about caffeine, like which amounts of caffeine are fine for us, and for those that are addicted, how do you what's bad, what's not, what's good, and how do you then deal with that addiction for some of you that are addicted? Maybe we'll do that just to help PR, that listener who sent us a message earlier saying they want to try and deal with their caffeine addiction. They're already on their 4th or 5th cup already, and it's only 9:57. Sure. I've also just remembered, by the way, because I've been having a chai latte, and I realized that this week I had actually pledged not to have sugar until Friday. I just remembered now that I just had sugar in the chai latte. But I'm going to keep on fighting. No more sugar from right now. It's 2 minutes before 10.
702 delivers
on the matters that matter to you.
Hi, this is Craig from Kempton Park. What an amazing experience, I must say, especially visiting, people behind the scenes. There's a lot of amazing people that we don't know about behind the scenes that's working very hard to serve you, the listener. Very, very impressed with everything that's going on. Fantastic studios, very professional setup, trendy, vibey. It epitomizes everything that this radio station does, and definitely it is the radio station for the people.